5280 Sports Network on a Thursday morning in the Mile High City. How are you? Good morning. Nate Lundy, Shawn with you for your morning minute. Shawn, the Denver Nuggets. You've talked about this team a lot in terms of trade and what you think they need to do to maneuver the roster a little bit. For those that haven't heard what you've said before, we've talked about here in these videos, summarize for me what it is you're looking for when you talk about this team needing to trade.
Well, some of it, they have a couple parts that are kind of like an appendix. It's nice to have, but you don't need it. Jameer Nelson's one of those guys. It seems like he's a player at his age that you can maybe move on, trade, free up a little time for Jamal Murray to play, and then maybe move him along to a contender. Say Cleveland, who is desperate for a veteran backup point guard. That's a good fit. Seems like, although I am not pleased about the way it worked out, Yusuf Nurkic is on his way out somewhere, but the challenge will be some of the players who make reasonable salaries, like a Will Barton, for example, or even someone by the standards of a Darrell Arthur. These are guys that might have to be moved into trades to have somebody take on, say, a Danilo Gallinari or a Kenneth Faried or a Wilson Chandler if they want to go that way. The Nuggets, as they're starting to get into a good groove where they're winning basketball games, you'll notice they're going younger. They're focusing on Moutier and Murray and Jokic, and de-emphasizing, to an extent, Gallinari and Chandler, who now at this point is a bench guy. So I think the Nuggets, now that they're starting to get a handle on what their roster looks like from 1 to 12, need to start moving some pieces around to make sure that that can be solidified, and then you know how you want to fill out the rest of your roster.
So does that mean then for you that what the trade needs to involve is a bit of a splash? I mean, is it that you need a starter, you need a star, you need somebody like that, and this is going to be a package deal, a 2 or 3 to 1 type of thing? Because given the youth on this squad, this isn't a matter of accumulating more draft picks. This is trying to bring in some particular types of players to be a part of a 6, 7, 8-man rotation.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why you look at guys like Paul Millsap out of Atlanta. You know that you've heard that, oh, he's on the block, he's off the block. Everyone's on the block. So someone like Paul Millsap might be available. Someone like Jahlil Okafor, even a very, very high pick recently because of the log jam out there in Philadelphia. Someone like Okafor and Nerlens Noel, maybe impactful guys that were picked very high, could be available too, if now that you could maybe send them players that could make a difference for them as well. So you are looking for a starter, and it may be a 2 or 3 to 1 because now you need to fill in positions where this team can grow and go forward, but at least they are clearly on the right track.
So as they go through, and we're still a little ways away from the trade deadline, we're a little ways away from that, but start to pay attention to the things that are bubbling up around the NBA. Pay attention, especially in the other NBA cities, what names are being talked about as being on the block, because I think, as you look at the fact, I think Tim Connelly has done a total of 8 trades since he's been the general manager, and I believe 5 of those have happened at the trade deadline. So he's not afraid to make moves at the trade deadline, not waiting until the offseason. So pay attention to the other names that are being brought up around the NBA and realize that Denver could be in the conversation for one or multiple of those people. We'll keep an eye on it for you. Also, a note that Shawn and I will be in Houston for a good chunk of next week for you, as we will be at Radio Row and all of the Super Bowl festivities. So we'll be bringing you the video content, the podcast, the radio show, everything for a good chunk of next week from down there in Houston. So we hope you'll tune in for that. And of course, for the radio show tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., Mile High Sports Radio. For Shawn, I'm Nate. See ya.